So here I was, hopping off the boat and meeting with the town's mayor for the very first time. He gives me the rundown and prepares me for what the town will be like. He seems hopeful, but by the way he speaks, I can tell the town people aren't too thrilled about me arriving. While I'm approaching the town and speaking with other trainers, let me tell you a bit about myself. This has been my dream for a long time, being a gym leader and all of that. My name is Larry. No, not like the one from Paldea, but he is my idol, that's for sure. Kinda fits that my name is the same as his, huh? My partner Kangaskhan grew up with me. I had her since we were just kids, so you can tell that she was just excited as I was. I knew that I wanted to be a normal type gym leader from the very beginning, so when I got this offer to leave my region and go to this one, I jumped on the opportunity. But enough of that. It was finally time for me to enter the town. I looked around for a bit, checking out the buildings, getting told not to walk into other buildings, and checking out the shops that were there. After a bit of a stroll, I headed to the mayor's office, but was stopped before I could even really get any closer by some sort of rough rider. They were on a long list of people who didn't like the idea of a newbie like me becoming their gym leader, but me and Kangaskhan took him down pretty swiftly. I went into the mayor's office and he gave me the rundown about the town and how the gym would work. He said I could have 2 Pokemon not related to my type. Not sure if he meant dual types or totally different types altogether, but I chose the first option anyways. After speaking with the mayor, I went to where my new home would be and checked the mailbox. Seems like I get my very own champ in the making guy. Nice. On top of that, I got some of my own gym trainers, but quickly found out their opinions of me, and those opinions weren't very good. Right when the mayor left, they talked all this smack, but to follow in the steps of my idol, I stayed calm and said nothing, because I didn't get paid enough to deal with it. Right after my champ in the making guy came in and cheered up the whole mood, so much I totally forgot about the foul things these 2 children were saying about me. After my first meeting was over, I explored a bit to a place called the Cavern of Knowledge, but since I don't get paid enough to deal with this at the moment, I left to catch some more normal type Pokemon. Getting myself a Starly and a Sentret, a little lackluster, but I assumed they would do for now. I was so wrong. I took on my first day in the gym, and let's just say the first trainer was no indicator of how this first day would go. I may have beat down the first trainer's bug type Pokemon, but then I got destroyed by a Pokemon I have never seen. An Aeron with Dragon Rage? I feel like this is cheating. So I finished that day with multiple losses. Maybe I was wrong. I needed to take this more seriously, and my party of 3 agreed. So we trained till we felt like we could stand up to these new Pokemon we didn't even know existed in this region, and even caught a Rattata. May not seem flashy, but every normal type Pokemon has their use, even if they end up being used as fodder. But don't tell my Sentret I said that. With my exploration of Craggy Pass and Cold Steel Cavern coming to an end, I felt that my Pokemon were trained up enough and the items I scavenged during the exploration should be enough to take on the upcoming challengers once again. But before I could take on more challengers, I built up the town a little bit and donated where I could. Everyone did hate me, so this felt like the right thing to do. I slept and entered my gym once again to prove that I was the right person for this gym leader job, and the right person to grow this town to new heights. This day was far different than my first in the gym. It was as if my party had a brand new mindset: dominate. Me and my Kangaskhan destroyed the challengers, increasing my rep with the people, but also providing me with some much needed confidence. After the battles, I went into the break room to hear something odd from my Let's Go Champ guy from the gym. Something about the Rough Riders and how they really only were coming after me, and that I should go over there and see if I could put a dent in their numbers. So I did just that the next day, defeating trainers in Cast Iron Cavern before entering the Badlands full of these Rough Riders. I defeated a ton of them, gaining new items on the way and also gaining a ton of rep from the town for doing so. But of course, many were still skeptics, even after my escapades. I heard chatter about how bad of a gym leader I was while I was constructing new buildings, so out of anger, I went back to the Badlands, but went through a tunnel nearby. When I came out on the other side, it was to a different universe, somewhere that the Rough Riders didn't exist because of some insanely strong Pokemon. Unfortunately, none of them were normal types, so I just left before I changed too much in reality. I then decided to explore more towards the east and found a place called Dragon's Den. Initially, I thought there was nothing for me. In turn, I went to the back and found a bit of a patch of grass, a nice area, and I caught an Igglybuff. But after re-entering, I remembered a Pokemon I heard throughout this Dragon's Den, a Drampa, a fierce, normal, and dragon-type Pokemon that would do well alongside my partner Kangaskhan and also my Staravia. So I caught one, taking my new party members and unique items back to the town. I got another building down as my renovation of this town was far from over, but then after a quick sleep and at the start of a meeting with the mayor, an enraged girl challenged me to a battle. Something about proving I was a horrible gym leader. I don't really know why she didn't just insist on having the gym battle during, the gym hours, but I digress, and I gave it to her, and it was a cakewalk. This is the effect that social media is having on young adults nowadays. After another day of being a gym leader and training with my gym trainers, I slept and woke up the next day. I built my first $25,000 Neo building, did my normal gym leader duty by reality checking the youth in a Pokemon battle, then went to bed. This was kind of the routine for the next couple of days. Beat the youth in a Pokemon battle, and try and renovate the town and keep the people happy. Eventually, the Rough Riders would show face once again, approaching while I was meeting with the mayor, but by now, I've seen everything and anything they can muster up. Or at least that's what I thought at this moment. I was finally getting some respect from the people in the town. The new commercial district opened up, and it seemed like I was truly the real deal. And it seemed like, well, not only my Pokemon were showing this, but also my actions. I even had my very own trainer in front of the gym that assisted me on training my party. A true life changer she was. Evolutions left and right, full exploring previous unknown areas to me. This was truly the life until everything went black. And something I never knew the Rough Riders would even consider, they did. Well, they kidnapped me, trying to give their leader the leg up on controlling my town. No, my home. I battled my way through the trainers and escaped. When I was finally out there, the mayor was waiting for me. It seemed that he found out what happened and came looking. But the leader of the Rough Riders would then show face, saying that those who did it would be punished, because this was not the way. After the occurrence and I arrived back in the town, I got clearance to use 6 Pokemon in my gym now, but that means more training, and frankly it would be needed. So I did just that, leveling my party up to the point where I felt we were untouchable, unstoppable. So after my day at the gym, after hearing "Let's go champ" one last time at the end of that day, I got a call from somebody, the leader of the Rough Riders.
Yo kid, this is Edgar, leader of the Rough Riders. It's about time we settled, this. Meet me at my chambers in the Badlands. I cannot promise that my gang will stand aside for you, so you better bring your A-team. Let's end this feud now.
Once I heard the click of the phone being hung up, I darted out there in no time. I faced down Edgar and the leader of the Rough Riders, but something felt off. I wasn't sure what it was, but I still fought. Edgar tore through my party after I defeated only one of his Pokemon, and the only one I had left was Kangaskhan, my buddy from the very beginning. I knew that this battle was still winnable, with her and me still standing. She tore through the Pokemon, left and right. But then, she began to outrage, began to lose control. Maybe it was watching her friends fail, perish, lose. Or maybe I wasn't good enough. Maybe I truly wasn't meant to be and then I woke up. I was drenched in sweat and I checked my phone to see that the call was real, but I just went to sleep. The dream was a premonition, telling me that I was getting too confident, that I was getting too relaxed. I trained my Pokemon more than I ever had before, and before you knew it, I was back, staring down Edgar once again. But unlike my dream, I was prepared. My Kangaskhan took down his Aggron. His Hydreigon would fall next to my Kangaskhan's powerful return. Next was his Tyranitar, in which my Staraptor took down with one choice-banded close combat. My Wigglytuff disarmed the Salamence, putting the dragon down for good. And how it all started, my partner in crime, my buddy from the very beginning, the one who traveled from a region across the world to this one now, defeated the Metagross and Garchomp in front of her, ending the battle with Edgar, and ending the battle with the Rough Riders. Edgar was a man of his word, but he kicked me out wanting to be left alone after defeat. When I arrived back in the town, I was happy, content, but ready for what was to come next. I stood in front of the gym, and I could finally say that this was truly a gym of mine. This was the end of the story of how I became a normal type gym leader. How I followed in the footsteps of my idol Larry from the Paldea region. But on top of that is how I truly made a family in this new town. How I built it up and will continue to build it up throughout this time. And how I made people that despised me, people who were left with a bitter taste in their mouth after their gym leader left them. But me, I will never leave them. And this may be the end of my story for now, but I'll have plenty of stories to come. But this was it for now. This was it for how I became a normal type gym leader, and how me and my Kangaskhan, my partner in crime, lived our dreams.